huge. Like, I don't know if you can tell how big my veils are. They're pretty big. For size comparison, I layered my veils. So here are the materials you'll need: a large flat surface, pins, a rotary cutter or scissors, cardboard or a rotary mat, and a pen, plus measuring tape to measure. Step 1, lay the veil out where you can see it. Preferably on a big table or on the floor. As you can see, mine is really huge. Measure your veil across the top edge from one side all the way to the other. I wanted to see just how much bigger my veils were than the petite veils from bellydance.com. As you can see, I had to lay it on the floor because I couldn't fit it on my table. My veil is about 100 inches wide. Once you've measured that way, now measure the depth. You want to see how tall the veils are. Mine are 49 inches at the widest part, the center. The petite veils were 80 inches wide by 36 inches deep. I wanted to see if I could cut my veils to make them more manageable and maybe not as small as the petites. Once you've measured your veil, pick it up and fold it in half this way. Make sure the ends meet. Pin the veil at the top so that it stays together and doesn't slip. In this diagram, the dotted line represents what we're chopping off of the veil. So we're just going to make it smaller in the depth. Measure down 11 inches from the top. This is going to be where you're going to trim it, if your veil is the same measurements as mine. Put a pin here so you can mark it all the way along so you can see where to cut. This will give you a depth of 38 inches. Lay down a ruler and then mark that 11-inch space with a line for cutting. I'm going to use a rotary cutter, which looks like this. It has a small wheel that you can cut, and you have to place a board underneath, either cardboard or this is a rotary cutter mat. And then I'm going to lay my ruler along and I'm going to cut with this wheel. So rather than using scissors, it's an easier way to cut and have less fraying. Okay, so I'm gonna just go down, I guess. So I'm gonna start here, okay? All right. I'm saving the edge by cutting 1 inch off, and then I'm gonna re-sew it back on. But you don't have to, this step is optional. Take the right side of the veil and place the fabric of your trim that we have cut the right side on top of the veil. So here's the veil, and then you have to put the right sides together. So right side together, and then you're going to bend it back, and then you're going to pin it, and you're going to sew it on this same area here, the fabric part, not the sequins. If you sew on sequins, you can break your needle on your machine. I'm going to use a zigzag stitch. And here we go, and I'm going to try to stay off the sequins. Here you can see a close-up of my zigzag stitch. I made it a long stitch. And here's the comparison. The left is the cut veil, the right was the original veil. And now it's a lot closer to the size of my silk veils. It's perfect.